Cranium is a party game created by Whit Alexander and Tait in 1998. After Richard spent a weekend playing games with another family and recognized the need for a game involving a variety of skills, he left his job at Microsoft, convincing his friend and co-worker Whit Alexander to join him in the creation of Cranium. Cranium, manufactured by Hasbro subsidiary Cranium, Inc., is billed as the game for your whole brain. Unlike many other party games, Cranium includes a wide variety of activities. Giorgio Davanzo handles packaging and branding for the game, and the artwork is done by Gary Baseman, creator of the animated television series Teacher's Pet. Board. The board is laid out as a circuit, consisting of different color spaces. Each color corresponds to a question card category. Purple, Planet Cranium. Spaces give the team their choice of category. Rules. Players are divided into 2, 3, or 4 teams. Each team picks a mover. Order of play. The team with the player whose birthday is coming up next starts the game. Play then continue clockwise to the next team. Each team, in turn, places its mover on a purple Planet Cranium space. Card categories. Creative Cat. These blue cards are creative activities. All of the blue cards have vague hints. Cluedle cards require a team member to draw on a piece of paper while the other team member attempt to guess the word or phrase. Much like Pictionary, Senso sketch cards work similarly, but require the drawer to have their eyes closed. Sculpturades requires one player to mold the included party into shapes for the other player to guess the word or phrase being sculpted. Data Head. These red cards revolve around knowledge of data and facts. Factoid cards present a question that the player's team must answer outright. Select a Quest cards ask a question and present 4 possible multiple-choice answers, of which the player's team must choose the correct answer. A Polygraph card requires the player's team to evaluate a statement to determine whether it is true or false. Star Performer. These green cards are themed around acting out clues with a vague hint, such as in charades. Acting and speaking like a famous person or fictional character but without using proper names, as in doing impressions. Humming or whistling a popular tune to get your group to guess the song, such as with Humdingers. Wordworm. These yellow cards are themed around words, spelling, and anagrams. 2 types of spelling challenges and 3 types of cards are involved in this category. Spelling challenges. One type of spelling challenge requires one team member to correctly spell a moderately difficult word on the first try without writing down the word. Naleps challenges require the team to correctly spell, on the first attempt, a moderately difficult word, with the caveat that they must spell it backwards. Cards. Blank out cards require the team to use a vague hint to fill in the blank words with only some letters filled in. Lexicon cards require teams to correctly identify the definition of a word out of 4 possibilities, usually a relatively unused word such as syzygy or Bedeisen. Zelpers requires the player's team to use a vague hint to rearrange the letters in an anagram to form the correct word or phrase. Gameplay. On each turn, a team has a chance to complete an activity on one card and advance along the board. If the team is on a purple space, they can choose the first card from any of the 4 categories. If they are on a colored space, the first card from the corresponding category is selected. If the team successfully completes the card they have chosen, the die is then rolled to determine what space the team moves to. Whether the activity is completed successfully or not, the turn always ends after 1 card. If the team completes an activity successfully before timer runs out, they roll the color face die and move to the next space of the color they roll, or to the next Planet Cranium space, whichever is closer. If they roll purple, they go to either the next purple space or the next Planet Cranium space, whichever is closer. Scenic Path and Fast Track. A team's first activity on a Planet Cranium space, including the start space, determines whether they will take the scenic path, or the fast track to the next Planet Cranium space. If they complete their first activity on a planet Cranium space successfully before time runs out, they will take the inside fast track to the next planet Cranium space. If they do not completed their first activity successfully, or if time runs out, they will not be able to take the fast track, and when they do complete an activity successfully to get off the planet Cranium space, they will have to take the longer scenic path to the next planet Cranium space. Club Cranium. On some of the Creative Cat and Star Performer cards, there is a Club Cranium symbol. When one of these cards is drawn, every team competes and has one of its members do the activity for them. Acting is to be performed in front of all the teams. Each team may guess the answer by looking at anyone performing. The same applies to Senso sketches and Cloodles. Whichever team gets it first gets to roll the die and move, and play continues with the team who the Club Cranium card was originally for. If no one guesses the answer before time runs out, no one moves and play continues with the team whose turn it was. If a team gets a Club Cranium card correct while on a planet Cranium, they may move on the fast track if it was their first activity while on the planet Cranium. If their first activity on a planet Cranium is a Club Cranium and they do not win it, they still try for the fast track on their next turn. The only penalty for not getting a Club Cranium right is not being able to take an extra move. Very confusing. Cranium Central. Around the Cranium Central space in the center of the board are 4 black spaces, each with the name of one of the decks on it. Before a team can go into Cranium Central, they must collect 1 card from each deck by moving around these spaces. When a team reaches the end of the path, they must place their mover on the black space that with the deck name that corresponds to the color of their roll. If they roll purple, they may decide which black space to start on. They continue play in the normal fashion, except that when they complete an activity successfully, they keep the card, and instead of rolling the die, they move clockwise to the next black space. Once the team has a card from each deck, they may move into Cranium Central. Once they are in Cranium Central, on their turn, they will receive an activity from the deck that the other teams decide on. If they do not complete the activity successfully, they must wait until their next turn, when the other teams will pick another activity for them, either from the same deck or another deck. Once the team successfully completes an activity while in Cranium Central, they have won the game. Expansions and spin-offs. Booster boxes. Boxes of cards sold separately from the game that contain a new deck of each type of card. As of 2007 update, Booster Boxes 1 and 2 are available, along with a special New York edition pack. Cadu, a children's version of the game that has some elements of tic-tac-toe. Conga, a version with a slightly older target audience than Cadu, incorporates a musical timer and magnetic drawing pad. Cranium Hoopla, a timed version of Cranium, designed for 2 or more players to play cooperatively. Cranium Kabuki, a video game version available on the Wii platform. Activities comprise a mixture of some from the original game and new games better suited for a video game environment. Cranium Scribbleish, played very much like the game of telephone. Players start by drawing a caption card from the deck and must draw the caption, then pass to another player who captions what they believe the other person has drawn, then draw said caption. Winners correctly guess which drawing started as their own. Cranium, the family fun game, a game similar to the original Cranium with some minor changes. Cranium Turbo Edition, a version of Cranium designed for a faster game. Cranium WoW, a similar game to the original with new cards and activities from Cranium Turbo.